All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave back again, talking real music in real time for a couple of real people out there, just like you and just like me. All right, here's another amazing record that you need to have for your collection. This will probably finish in my top 20 for the year. This is August Zadra. He likes to just call himself Zadra here, which is kind of cool, doing the last name thing, kind of like DeCarlo, right? We got August Zadra. His album is called Guiding Star, not Guiding Light, Guiding Star, okay? And it's available now to order and purchase. He sounds maybe just a little bit like Tommy Shaw at times, but he's got his own thing. This is old school album-oriented rock, like from the 80s before the whole thing imploded. This is music you can listen to from start to finish. Great vocals, great harmonies, great production value, great singing, great playing. All right. Again, Guiding Star from August Zadra. Get your copy. Go stream it. Go listen to it. Go do something with this. Okay. This is great. And I'll be probably doing a standalone video eventually about this. There we go. No glare. All right. So if you're a Paul McCartney fan, last weekend was a rough weekend for you. Traffic headaches created a lot of frustration for many attendees of the Paul McCartney concert Saturday in beautiful Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The original start time for the concert was 8 p.m., but was delayed, pushing the concert to start closer to 9 p.m. Several concert attendees contacted Channel 12 News, who actually is reporting on this, after experiencing frustration with the traffic problem prior to the concert. Now get this, my wife and I sat in it for more than 3 hours trying to get to tonight's Paul McCartney concert, 3 hours, and they delayed it from 8 to 9. So this guy, he missed it. The police department, Winston-Salem Police Department, and event staff really dropped the ball and could not get all the patrons parked prior to a delayed show beginning. Now, I've talked like an old geezer about concert logistics these days. Like, people actually offer me concert tickets. I go, hey, I'm going to be in Orlando. Hey, I'm going to be in Tampa. Hey, I'm going to be in Miami. And I go, are you crazy? Now, I don't live near anything. That's my own fault, right? I should have like bought property next to, Orlando or something. I didn't want it. I wanted to be kind of maybe out in the middle of nowhere a little bit. And, logistically, to drive the 2 hours, right? And then to experience this, okay? I went to the Journey concert and it was like I had been through the war, got back at 2 a.m, had a good time, but I was like a wreck for at least 2 days after. All right. So just to add my own personal testimony to this, it says here, furthermore, they didn't have enough general parking available for all concert goers. And again, this person says, we waited for 3 hours for parking for the Paul McCartney concert in gridlocked traffic. Finally, we had to drive home. The mismanagement of this event is appalling. We passed by several empty lots as we were funneled around. Get this, I can't believe I paid over $1,000 for tickets and missed it. Jim and Linda Stanford drove from the Raleigh area to attend Saturday's concert. So they drove in from Raleigh, North Carolina, to Winston-Salem, which to me, when I think Winston-Salem, do you think like this is a place that we should have a Paul McCartney concert? I don't know. The couple says they watched the same traffic light at Indiana Avenue and Patterson Avenue go from red to green 15 times. And I complain about Florida traffic. If I sit at a traffic light that goes, say, 2 or 3 light cycles and I can't get through it, I'm already ticked off. Jim tells Channel 12 News when he spoke to the Winston-Salem police at the event, they told him the city doesn't have the infrastructure to handle events of this size. Now, don't get me started on infrastructure, right? We just sent $40 billion to Ukraine. But Winston-Salem does not have the infrastructure to handle a Paul McCartney concert. Okay, yeah, our priorities, that's cool. You know, we stand with Ukraine. We've been to these big events where there are 100,000 people, and we've never seen anything like this. It was just horrible. We sat at the corner of Indiana and Patterson for about 45 minutes, just inching along to the red light. It's been a nightmare, Jim said. Saturday around 9:10 p.m., Winston-Salem police issued the following statement. The Winston Police Department is aware of the increased traffic in and around Truist Field due to the Paul McCartney concert. Wake Forest University issued a press release earlier this week with information about the concert to include increased traffic. Additionally, a thunderstorm came through the area, which caused delays in parking vehicles. Wow, it's the perfect storm of bad. Winston-Salem Police Department officers will remain on scene and continue to address traffic issues throughout the duration of the concert. They might still be on the scene now. The department forwarded any questions concerning traffic issues to the Wake Forest University. Okay, so officials from Wake Forest issued the following statement Sunday afternoon. Saturday's Sir Paul concert at Truist Field was a historic event for the Winston-Salem community, and we appreciate the patience of the record-breaking crowd in the aftermath of a thunderstorm that caused some disruption in traffic patterns and the parking process. Forest University appreciates the efforts of the Winston-Salem Police Department and the hard work and teamwork of all of our local and state partners in safely producing this memorable event where people actually went home after paying $1,000 to go. On Wednesday, Coliseum staff said Wake Forest University coordinated traffic efforts with the North Carolina Department of Transportation. It's the best of government and private institutions working hand in hand and doing such an amazing job that people had to leave. Coliseum staff said they added officers and messaging along Interstate 40, US Highway 52, and US Highway 421 into Winston-Salem. Okay. Again, the original start time for the concert was 8 p.m., started at 9 p.m. And they have more testimonies. Caitlin Henderson said this: we waited for 3 hours for parking for the Paul McCartney concert in gridlock traffic. Finally, we had to just drive home. The mismanagement of this event is appalling. Again, we passed by several empty lots and they paid over $1,000 for tickets and missed the show. So, couple comments by yours truly here. Look, no concert, and I've said this, no concert is worth this effort. Remember, a concert is supposed to be an enjoyable experience. And as you get older, you know, this isn't the days, hey man, want to go tailgate? You know, we'll get there at noon. Maybe you probably would have been better off if you tailgated, right? If they would let you do that. I don't know if they would let people do that, but when you hit a certain age, do you want to hang around 8 hours before the actual concert begins and drink Pabst Blue Ribbon and maybe toke up a couple of doobies? I don't know. I think a lot of us at this stage, you know, we get in the arena, maybe we'll have an adult beverage or two, but this isn't, you know, when you're a teenager or getting into your early 20s or whatever. This is a different crowd, people who are driving Lexus SUVs and trying to find a place to park, and and they can't even find a place to park. And they're willing to go through the effort, right? To some degree. I mean, people are driving pretty good distances to go see Paul McCartney here. but then they get to the actual event and they can't find a place to park. They're driving around for 3 hours. And after spending $1,000, they're throwing their hands in the air and saying, no, this isn't worth it. And I would be one of those guys. I would be one of those guys. And I would just say, you know what? Nothing is worth this. And then you get inside, you've got an 80-year-old guy. It's going to be 80 next month. That's Paul McCartney. He'll be 80 years old. And is he singing the way he used to sing? It's a legitimate question. I know he's got the band and the harmonies, and then of course you got the audience. You could have a hologram of Paul McCartney. Seriously, just listen to me. And I don't like the technology. I don't like the holograms. They did the Dio hologram thing. I think it's creepy, but they could have the Paul McCartney hologram up there, right? Singing, say, in his, I don't know, 1995 voice. And, you know, people would show up and they could sing along and they could drown out the hologram and the voice, right? Not the hologram itself, but the vocals, kind of like they're doing now. So it becomes this big karaoke sing-along. This is what's happening at these events, by the way, where the music is just getting snuffed out by the audience. So you can be up there, right, and do this with a microphone. I see this all the time at events. Anytime there's a difficult note to sing, it's like, we know what's going on here. And then the audience takes it, and you're thinking to yourself as a true fan, right? You're thinking to yourself, well, I paid a lot of money to hear this person sing these songs. I cannot sing these songs. This person is supposed to be able to sing. When I sing along, it's supposed to be really bad, and typically it is, right? But then if you get a chorus of people who are singing along, then there's this reaction. The audience has a reaction to themselves, and they're all proud of themselves. Like, look what we just did. We sang an entire verse. And I'm looking at the guy on stage saying, and he didn't sing anything. And I paid to hear them sing. So to me, this is becoming a bit of a ripoff, right? Because it becomes this event where you go and sing the songs. And with Paul McCartney, again, vocally, and I did a video and went pretty viral. I was actually kind of surprised. I'm not trying to slam Paul McCartney for being 80 years old, right? I'm just stating the obvious. You know, when you hear him sing, when you do hear little snippets, and he is actually singing, so give him credit, but you hear it and you go, ooh, that's not good. You know, he's an older guy, and, you know, things wear out after a while. Your vocal cords wear out. We had a couple of really good discussions about vocal cords, courtesy of both, I think, Jeff Scott Soto and my other friend, Johnny Gioeli, or Joeli, depending on how you want to say it. But they agreed, like, look, you hit a certain age, yeah, you're probably not going to be able to do what you used to do. Some guys take care of their vocals, and others have issues that are just based on age and genetics. Like, look at Mickey Thomas, right? I've been talking about him because, you know, didn't like what he did to Stephanie Calvert. But here's a guy who can sing like nobody's business in his 70s. He's kind of a freak, but a lot of people aren't freaks. So you go through this giant process, right? This like, okay, I don't want to even leave my house half the time these days, but these people, they bought the tickets, they took a fairly long drive, they get there and they can't actually park their car. And they paid over $1,000, probably for 2 tickets. Hopefully not for 1 ticket. And they paid all this money to go see Paul McCartney, and they ended up driving home. They were in a light cycle that went red to green 15 times, and they couldn't get through the light. That there would be so frustrating and so psychologically damaging, and just kind of like a non-starter. At that point, I'd be like, this is crazy. I'm trapped here. And of course, you have the thunderstorm rolling through. So this was just a perfect storm of bad stuff happening to Paul McCartney fans. People who probably said, hey, this is a bucket list item. This could be the last time Paul comes through. Now, my guess is that this won't be the last time that Paul McCartney will come through. It could be, but it's probably not, especially if, he starts hearing about this, that people weren't able to attend. That means that demand is actually greater than, right, what they're offering people to maybe put this concert in a bigger place, in a place with better infrastructure. Again, we spent $40 billion on sending weapons to Ukraine, but we can't fix the infrastructure in Winston-Salem so people can attend a concert, right? And some people say, well, that's a crazy comparison. I mean, look what's happening in Ukraine. Yeah, well, look what's happening in America. We haven't been attending to our infrastructure in decades, and it's crumbling. And each time a politician gets up there and says, yeah, we really need to do something for our own infrastructure, the money goes somewhere else. They say they're going to spend money on infrastructure, and then it's just a big slush fund that goes to all of the political constituencies in each area. And most of it isn't for infrastructure. Most of it is to pay off lobbyists, right? Who are lobbying for their thing, their cause, more money for the military industrial complex, right? And no money for the actual, industrial complex, which includes roads, bridges, access to places that are hard to get to. Maybe, if you don't have enough parking for this, you might want to invest in some parking. Or you probably don't bring Paul McCartney to Winston-Salem. Just, that would be my first response here. And nothing against Winston-Salem. I'm sure it's a big area. It's one of those growing places in the country. But again, a lot of times where places are growing, and I know this because I live in Florida, they're not prepared. They're just not prepared for the influx of people. And they're trying to keep up with it, but it's physically almost impossible to do this. So in any event, if you attended or tried to attend this concert, my condolences, my thoughts and prayers go out to you. That's psychologically damaging. And, if anything, those people who couldn't get there, there should be a refund. There won't be, but there should be a refund. Look, I couldn't get to this concert. I want my money back. I never attended the concert. I have my ticket stubs here, which, these days, a lot of times people have it on their phone or however they do this, where you get to the concert and you just show them a QR code. Yay. Now they know everything about you probably, but that's the way they do tickets now. And I'm pretty sure that if your QR code goes unscanned, you could probably show it to somebody and say, look, I didn't attend this concert. I'm sure they're going to say, well, tough toenails. That's your fault. You should have tried to still go. And we delayed the concert for a full hour so you could still get there. Anyway, people, this isn't the way a person who's a little more seasoned, right? A seasoned citizen, as a wise radio talk show host used to call older folks. We don't want to go see concerts this way. We want to be like, can you just helicopter me in on the roof, right? Land the helicopter, let me go down the stairwell and then find my seat. That's what I want to do. This is just not, 1985 anymore, where you can show up at the concert and pay $15 to get in and buy a t-shirt and hang out there and do the things you used to do. These are people with big time disposable income. They can spend $1,000 and then think to themselves, yeah, this isn't worth it. I'm just going to go home. All right, people. Anyway, that's my video on the topic. Don't forget, see, just really bad product placement there. August Zadra. The album's called Zadra, Guiding Star. Get yourself a copy of this. I will be talking about this on its own at some point, just because it's so good and people should know about it, and it won't cost you $1,000. And you can listen to it over and over in the privacy of your own home and, crack open a cold one and just This is the preferred method going forward, people. It really is. All right, I am done. Kind of a lengthy video, but I thought this topic was pretty interesting. And of course, I will see you soon.